Welcome back, you guys, and for today's video, I've got a crazy story that we need to talk about, speculate, and discuss. Now, for you guys that don't know, reports have come out suggesting that we want to sign Neymar this summer, and for today's video, I'm going to break down how realistic our expectations need to be. I'll do this by focusing on how realistic it is that we can sign Neymar, if we can afford him, what it means for the young players at the club, and whether Neymar would even want to sign for us in the first place. Before I continue on, if you like today's video, do not forget to smash that like button to help me get over 2,500 likes for today's video. Now, to start things off, we need to talk about Don Balon's story reporting this Neymar news. Now, they're stating that Neymar is still in reservations in regards to staying at Paris Saint-Germain or moving on, and now he's starting to assess his options for next summer. They said that we're looking to sign an offensive leader to replace Eden Hazard, and Don Balon do report that Neymar is potentially interested in playing in the Premier League. He likes the competition, the level of football, and of course the money you can earn. Now, Don Balon did end their report by suggesting that we want to make a €210 million bid for Neymar next summer. Now, of course, anything involving Neymar needs to be spoken about because this guy is one of the best players on this planet, and for this next segment I'm going to be breaking down how realistic this signing is going to be, what it means for the youth players, what it means for the club, and whether signing Neymar is worth it in the first place. However, before I get into things, today's video is brought to you by the OneFootball app. If you guys do download the app, you'll get quick access to all the latest news surrounding this club from all across Europe. The OneFootball app is continuously updating. You get access to all the latest news the second it comes out. If you guys want this for yourselves, you'll find a link in the description below. Now, the first thing that we need to break down is whether signing Neymar is even realistic in the first place. Well, one thing that I know about this game is that if you have money, you can do a lot of impossible things. When you realize that we haven't spent any money this summer, when you realize that, if we potentially get Champions League football again, that's only going to boost our earnings, when you consider that we're only going to secure more commercial activities with this club, and most importantly, when you look at that wage bill. I think currently the only player that's earning over 200k per week is N'Golo Kante. Let's not forget too, we were willing to offer Hazard 400k per week. That's a ton of money, a ridiculous amount of money, and we would have happily paid that and still pay for Kante and every other big first team player. Now, the advantage that we do have for the next few seasons is that with the current first team right now, they're mainly consisting of academy graduates who are only on the infancy of their career earnings, and when more first team players leave next summer, potentially guys like Willian, Pedro, Alonso, these guys go off the wage bill, and it means we have even more freedom to allocate those wages. Listen, you guys, when it comes to money, we're good. We can afford it, we can afford anything, so financials is definitely an aspect that we don't have to worry about any potential Neymar deal. Alright, Nini, I get it, we can afford Neymar. But let's talk about the footballing aspects. Why do we feel that we can attract Neymar? Why would Neymar even want to sign for us in the first place? Now, let me explain to you guys how I see this situation. Now, if you're Neymar, if you're contemplating leaving Paris Saint-Germain, it means that you're going to assess your options with a lot of detail and attention. Now, let's break down Neymar's possible options. Could Neymar possibly go to Italy? I don't think so. I don't think that style of football complements Neymar. Could Neymar sign for Bayern Munich and go to the Bundesliga? Personally, again, I don't think so. I think it would be the same case of Neymar being a big fish in a small pond. He's already experienced this at Paris Saint-Germain, and I think that's the main reason why he wants to leave. So I'd rule out Bayern Munich. So now we move on to the big boys in football, Barcelona and Real Madrid. Starting with Real Madrid, we know that they've just signed Hazard, and if you sign Neymar, it implies that you have to give him tactical freedom. He needs the license to roam, same thing for Eden Hazard. And if you want Hazard and Neymar to coexist perfectly, if you give them that attacking freedom, it also means that you have to spend even more money to get a strong, defensively sound midfield. And yeah, I know that Real Madrid have money, but they don't have that much money where they could just take on a massive undertaking like that. And finally, that brings us to Barcelona. And here's how I see it. The reason why Neymar left Barcelona in the first place was because Messi took the role that Neymar wanted in the team. Neymar's more than just a guy with skills who gets goals. He's a complete attacking player, you know. He's got amazing playmaking abilities that complement his world-class, inventful attacking style. If Neymar went back to Barcelona, there's no way that he's taking that role from Messi. It's not happening. Now, on top of that, you have Griezmann, who likes to operate in the same type of areas as well. For me, you know, it would mean that Barca would have no attacking balance in the team. So that leaves us with Premier League clubs, and when you consider that Man City won't be selling anyone to incorporate Neymar in their team, when you realise that Man United are downhill, they'll get no Champions League football, so they won't be able to attract Neymar to sign for them. Arsenal, forget about that. Spurs, forget about that even more. Liverpool, no. Mane, Salah, Firmino, it doesn't really get better than that. So it comes down to us, and when you assess all the options, you know, we can give Neymar the role he wants. He can live in London, one of the best cities for rich people in the world. He'd be the complete star man, earning a crazy amount of money, and on top of that, he gets to test his abilities in the Premier League. I think that when you consider all these factors, and if you imagine a scenario where we have secured Champions League football for next season, and if the team this season really does impress the footballing world, then I'm not saying that it guarantees that we can sign Neymar. It just means that we do become a lot more attractive for a player of Neymar's caliber. Now let's talk about the potential ramifications of Neymar signing for this club. Starting with the financial sides. Now, I've already spoken about how we could afford this deal. As I said, Paris Saint-Germain have gone up to a new marketing level ever since Neymar signed for them. More big brands want to work with them, they've got more exposure, and they've got a bigger fan base that's willing to spend money. You know, I've spoken about how this club wants to change their marketing plan. With Neymar, you tap into a fan base from South America, as well as Asia and across the world. There's a reason why Neymar is one of the most marketable players on this planet, and for a club like us that wants to be perceived differently, that's marketing the club differently, that's focusing on young English players to help us do this. If you're signing a Neymar to add to this team, and everything you're doing right now, that's exponentially boosting the profile of this club, boosting the brand as well. And maybe we need to do these things because the plan is to get a new stadium, but how can we afford it right now? Potential Neymar signing could help us out in this area. Aight Nini, you're starting to get me a little bit gassed right now. Let's bring things back to reality. What would Neymar signing mean for the young players, and most importantly, Callum Hudson-Odoi? Now, I'm going to say it straight, but I see Neymar replacing a Willian. You know, we look at the team right now, I think that a bit of experience is needed in the final third, and this is why Willian has become so successful recently. When you realise too that potentially Willian and Pedro will both be leaving next summer, that frees up 2 spaces in attacking positions. And as I've been stressing time and time again, the club's policy right now is to integrate youth players, but that doesn't mean to solely only focus on them. What that means is we want to sign the very best we can get. We'll use the academy to supplement positions we have, and for positions that we don't have top class quality in, we'll turn to the transfer market, and that's the best cost-effective way to maintain long-term success. I mean, there's a reason why clubs like Barca, Real Madrid and Bayern Munich are constantly competing for things every single decade. And that's because they get it. Now we know that if Neymar signs, he'll be taking that left wing spot where he can play that Hazard role where he has that creative freedom to do whatever he wants in the final third, meaning that Hudson-Odoi might be placed down the right hand side. Now is that the be all and end all for the player? Callum is only 18 years old. The guy hasn't even reached anywhere near his peak just yet. Let's say that for the first few seasons, let's say by the time he gets to 22, he's predominantly playing down that right hand side to accommodate Neymar down the left. The benefits could be that Hudson-Odoi won't be put in the spotlight so much because naturally there's going to be a lot of attention surrounding the player this season, and if Neymar was signed, the attention automatically goes to him, and Neymar knows how to act in the show light. He knows what to do. He understands it, he understands the pressure, and it doesn't affect him. Let's not forget too that Hudson-Odoi could potentially have worked with Eden Hazard and Neymar And if you're a young player that's looking to play in their same positions, what type of crazy footballing education are you getting? Neymar and Hazard? Come on now. Of course, Neymar's qualities exponentially improve the team as well, and I think that Neymar's signing isn't affecting anything. I still see Mason Mount playing in the first team because if you're going to use Neymar in such a creative role, you need to have someone willing to do the hard work for Neymar. That's where Mason comes into play. And if you're Hudson-Odoi as well, you've got world-class attacking talent to play alongside with. You can learn from him and you would still be getting first team football. I think the only thing that really affects young players at the club is when you waste your time and money signing the Ross Barkleys of the world, because these are guys that aren't really technically better than what we have. They take up an unnecessary position in the team. You have to pay them big money and wages to keep them for no reason, and they don't really have the quality that's needed to help improve the team. For young players that have great ambition, if you're playing alongside Neymar's, what is that doing for their mentality? Now for my closing thoughts, it's got me thinking about Frank Lampard's and whether Lampard would like Neymar in the team. Now, I'll split into pros and cons. Pros, of course, this guy's one of the best players in the world. He dramatically improves the team. There's no debate about that. But Lampard might be thinking about things from the human perspective, the human element. He's encouraging the team to work hard. He's encouraging that no one's better than anyone else. Hard work will get you the game time you want. Now, if you have someone like a Neymar who really is a celebrity football player, who has a lot of commercial activities and responsibilities that he needs to fulfill, it means that you can't treat him the same as your regular player. Now, it's a lot of speculation on my part. I'm not trying to say that I understand Frank Lampard and how he thinks. I'm only speculating. But how would Lampard cope if he had a player in his team that was a diva and expected clubs to fulfill every single demand that he wants? There has been speculation that Mbappe has become a bit more of a diva ever since he's been in Neymar's company, and we all know that the one thing that really disrupts a squad's harmony is when players get treated better than others. And if you sign Neymar, I guess you're almost accepting that you need to be adaptable and you need to give in to a lot of his demands. As I've been stressing, it's only speculation. I don't really know Neymar. It's only based off the little bits of information that we get from the press, but I understand that everything's subjective, and I'm sure that if Neymar could speak, he'd have completely different versions of his own. But still, you guys, you can only get excited by stories like this. I like that the club have big ambitions, The players we're looking at are big top class players. We're not looking at any more Barkleys to sign for the team anymore. We're moving away from that model. And as I'm stressing, my vision for this club's always been to use our academy players to fill the first team, and for positions we don't have, we sign the very best. I can imagine that this story is only going to intensify as the year goes on. Hopefully it does. I'd love to hear more Neymar speculation. But you guys, on that note, I need to wrap things up and keep things moving. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe. I'm NEYMAR FC. This is Blue Lions TV. See you guys in a bit.